We first need to talk about former Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy, who will no longer be coaching for the Washington Commanders, which begs the question, could he return to coach for the Chiefs? Well, let's take a look. The Commanders recently hired former Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn to be the new head coach after moving on from Ron Rivera, but since Dan Quinn is a defensive-minded coach, many wondered if Eric Bieniemy would remain the offensive coordinator, or at the very least remain on staff if Dan Quinn brought somebody else, since Bieniemy signed a 2-year deal with the Commanders before this season. Well, the Commanders just yesterday hired Cliff Kingsbury, Mahomes' former college coach. He was also the head coach of the Cardinals, to be the new offensive coordinator, which put EB's status with the team up in the air. And while he did interview talking about EB for the Commanders' head coaching position, the only head coaching position he interviewed for, by the way, he not only didn't get that job, but he's once again looking for another job because today, Dan Quinn said he met with Bieniemy and, quote, "We're not going to work together," but noted he respects him and wishes him nothing but the best. So, what now for Eric Bieniemy? Jeremy Fowler of ESPN said recently that the Raiders have spoken with him about their OC job, but it looks like they are expected to hire Luke Getsy. Josina Anderson said back in December that the Bears could have interest in EB, but they hired ex-Seahawks OC Shane Waldron. And right now, as of when I'm recording this video, only 3 teams have offensive coordinator jobs still open. The LA Chargers, though they seem to be zeroing in on Greg Roman. The Saints still have an opening as well, though they may be hiring Clint Kubiak. And then finally, there's the Seattle Seahawks, which could be a real possibility. However, some are hoping EB returns to the Chiefs, with a vocal minority of Chiefs Kingdom, maybe even more than a minority, I don't know, but they were often chanting "Fire Nagy" throughout the season when the offense was in a lull, saying that if Eric Bieniemy was here, the offense would be held more accountable and make less mistakes overall. But I think the issue is, if Andy Reid wants to keep Nagy as offensive coordinator, then what? Do you think EB could return in some other capacity, or would even be willing to do so? It would possibly be a demotion like running back coach, or maybe they carve something out specifically for him, RB coach / assistant head coach, which would surprise me if EB would be willing to come back and be a running backs coach. He wants to be an OC or a head coach, obviously even. There is the very slim possibility as well that the Chiefs could fire Matt Nagy and just straight up rehire EB as the OC, but that seems extremely unlikely given the fact that KC is in the Super Bowl once again. Therefore, I would think Nagy's job is pretty freaking secure. Someone's job who shouldn't be secure, though, is wide receiver coach Connor Embry. So maybe the Chiefs move on from him, which would allow some shifting to happen around the offensive coaching staff, and something could be carved out for Eric Bieniemy, but I honestly have no clue. I'm just speculating at this point. But what do you guys think about a return to Kansas City for Eric Bieniemy? And if he did, what do you think the offensive coaching staff could look like? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.